All right. Hello again. My name is Derrick. My name is Derrick Moiro. I'm from Kenya. I'm an automation engineer at Dimension Data. I joined the Power Platform community in 2020. I'm also a data scientist in profession with a statistics background. And today we'll be checking an interesting topic. And so let's just go through our agenda. So we'll be taking at task analysis or project management, and we'll be seeing how one is able to do project management on Power BI. I know today we've had a lot of complex stuff, so maybe we'll tone it down a little bit. And maybe for somebody who is, having their introduction in Power BI, will be the best to understand this. So if you're starting on Power BI or in the intermediate, I've tried to keep my presentation a little bit soft so that people can be able to at least catch a thing or two, and I know everyone will be able to learn something. So we'll be checking what is task analysis, and of course the importance of task analysis in project management, how project management is done in Power BI, and then we'll be going through now the tasks that we are supposed to do, and then of course we'll have a demo in Power BI. The good thing is that this BI has already been built, but I'll be showing the things that I've been able to utilize. Most of them that are known to the community, some of them that are not very old. And so I believe that once we go through this, everyone will be able at least to catch a thing or two that will enable you to know how one can be able to leverage Power BI when you're doing project management. So what is task oversight analysis or project management? It is a data-driven platform or way of doing project management that displays metrics, statistics, insights that are specific to a particular project or strategy by presenting a tailored mix of KPIs. That's one of the things that we'll be looking at in one central location in order to benefit the project's performance. So I think of a company probably that it handles clients, and what they're supposed to do is in their handling of clients, each projects come in, projects are assigned to project managers. These projects are supposed to be done and of course be handled by the different project managers, and the project manager should ensure that these projects are completed, and once they are completed, that value that is assigned or that value attached to those projects is turned into revenue. And most companies do that, and even in the consultation world, you'll find that this is a very specific task that is usually brought to consultants. And so I believe this is very useful for those who are in this field. So just to go through the importance quickly before I jump into what we're doing today. Identify the patterns in project planning and make sure make future forecasts, so you can be able to know how to forecast projects that will come in the maybe few months or in this time span. Account for all projects from start to completion. So once projects come in, one is able to account for them and know how one is able to do them. There's also, you can observe anomalies and outliers and account for those projects. So not all projects are the same. Some take long, some take shorter time, depending with the expertise that is needed, depending with the tools that are needed for that. So it all depends with the different types of projects. And so there might be outliers by each project. And the last one is have an organized reporting way to increase project performance and hence save time and increase revenue. And so this is the things that you're able to attain once you have good project management or task analysis done, and in this case using Power BI. So we'll be going through these tasks. And the good thing is, as I've said, we have the BI, and so maybe you can just read through them, and then of course, once we are done, we'll come to check if we've been able to achieve all of them. So we have our data, and I'll be showing you our data shortly. So we want to show the different revenue facilitated by different project managers, and show the best performing project managers. Of course, after each project manager has been given a project, they're supposed to ensure it's completed. And so you can be able to quantify that, display revenue in different currencies. Some of these projects are paid by different clients in different currencies, so you need to display that in different currencies. Quantify the projects without a project manager by a fraction. So some projects don't either do not have project managers, or the project managers have not accounted for them. So that also comes as something that can also be seen, especially when the data is not sort of clean in your CRM or wherever these projects are stored. You can be able to see that. Show the aging of all ongoing projects. So projects sometimes stay too long, as we were saying, they have anomalies, and so they can be able to take long, and we can be able to see that. Present year-to-date, quarter-to-date, and month-to-date revenue, and also show achieved and recurring and non-recurring revenue, and of course classify all accrued revenue by time. So that's sort of what we'll be going through. And so I'll just jump into the demo, and I will be presenting the dashboard that I've been able to come up with. And then we'll just be looking at specific formulas, maybe things that have been used to achieve this. So I'll drop my share and then bring it up back again, so that we can be able to go ahead. I hope so far we are good. No questions before we go ahead. All right. So I'll be sharing again. Okay, so these are quite a simple dashboard, but I believe one will be able to get at least one or two things from it. And of course, maybe we could start by seeing the data, what we have. And let me just slide it here, if that's okay. So we have, these are data, and the good thing is that I was able to get this data from somewhere else. I got, but I sort of replicated it, because where I got it, it was classified data. So I did this data on a site called mokaru.com. For those maybe who'd like to be able to create your own data, you can do that. There's a site that allows you to create your own data. And so that's what I have here. It's just very simple. I'll just go through what we have. So we have an ID that specifies a specific project. We have our clients. Of course, these are client names or company names that have been made up. Then we have our site names. So I took towns that are in Switzerland, and I was able to create, maybe these are the sites now where these companies are located. Now, each project has an entry date, when it was first input into the system. And of course, it has a close date. But if the close date is null, that means that project is still going on. Hence, we'll have some nulls here. As you can see, the status is in progress, stopped, in progress, not started. But when it is completed, you can be able to see the date for the close date. And then we have the project managers who have been assigned these different projects. Of course, they are not as many as the projects, because many project managers can handle many projects. We have the amount billing. So this is the amount of cash that will be coming in. Maybe we are handling some devices for them. We are doing maintenance, or whatever that we can be doing for these clients. We are handling their data. Of course, maybe you have an installation fee, or the first non-recurring fee. Of course, this is non-recurring, the installation fee, and then we have a recurring fee, which is now the amount billing. We have an opportunity type, which is a renewal, an upgrade, a relocation, or the last one was a new sale. So a client can be bringing a new sale, they can be doing a renewal, they can be doing an upgrade, and maybe they have moved location, so it can be a relocation. And of course, our clients can be able to pay in different currencies, that is USD, Euro, and the Swiss franc. So I believe we have understood the data. And now this is what we'll be looking into. How can we be able to classify now all this data into a Power BI dashboard? And that's what I have here now. So I'll drop this. And the first thing we want to see is how many project managers or task owners do we have? And of course, or maybe we could go to the modeling first so that you can be able to see. So I loaded the data here. It's called data. And we have our table here. So let me just check. As of course, you can see the data is the same as we loaded it. Nothing quite special. So the only thing that I did, I was able to classify the projects by, I just need some conditional columns. The first thing was to, I wanted to convert the amount that is being billed into one currency. Of course, you can't be adding values that have different currencies. That wouldn't make sense. So if you add current values that are in USD plus values that are in euros plus, that will obviously bring errors in your values. So the first thing was just to use an if statement or a switch statement that was to convert. So I have my conversion, and so my base currency is the Swiss franc. So this one, that's why I'm multiplying this by 1, and the others are multiplying by the values. So Swiss to USD 1.08 and Swiss to Euro 1.04. And so once I do that, I'm able to get an amount billed, but now in one currency. And now we can be able to add this to be able to know what that value is. I also did an aging. This is just a simple formula where we are going to find the difference between the entry date and the close date. But of course, if the close date is empty, we are going to subtract the entry date with today. So it's checking today, subtracted from the entry date, and we are able to know if that's only if the close date is empty. If the close date is there, you're going to do an entry date minus the close date. So you can be able to know this is for close projects, how long they took, and so on is for ongoing projects. And we can be able to quantify how long they have taken so far. So I also changed the installation, nothing quite hard here. And the last one is there's I tried something new here. So of course we usually use time intelligence to create to do year to date, quarter to date, but I found a way where one can be able to do a column and you can be able to quantify if a project, when it came in, if it came in the previous year, if it came in the current year or the historic year. And the good thing with this, instead of now doing the months to date, quarter to date formulas, the time intelligence, you can use this as a filter in your data, where now once you select current year, all your projects that are in current year are the ones that will be shown. Previous year, you can also do that. And of course, you can go to as many years as you want backwards. Of course, I just use the -1 here, and that is also possible when you do the months to date filter. So for the months to date, I was able to do sort of the same thing. So I have the current month and the previous month, and historic month, and this will enable us to sort of bypass a lot of formulas that one usually do, because sometimes filters help replace what people usually do with the creation of many formulas for year to date, dates, quarter to date, year total, quarter to date, year to date, and what have you. And so I believe this is one of a good formula maybe people should also try and use for their own good. So there's nothing as much here. That's all the columns that I added into the data. And of course, these are so back to the dashboard. Okay, I think I'm not finished here. So I have two calendars. I have an entry date and a complete date. Of course, it's easier to do it using the tabular editor, but just to make things easier, entry date, and you just connect this one to the entry date, and that's why you see it's connected to the entry date. And then now this one is connected to the close date. So when you need to filter aspects that deal with the date completion, you'll only use this filter. You'll create now your date hierarchy from this calendar table, and the same for entry date. So if you want to see projects that are ongoing, that have not been completed, you'll use this one to do that, because you don't want them to be overlapping, because once you filter entry date with closed projects, that will sort of bring a difference, because you remember we have two dates here, the close date and the entry date in the data. All right, so I created another table here, just an easy table. Of course, maybe I'm doing things differently, but it's a good thing also to be able to learn. So I did all my currencies here, and I did the rates that are here. Of course, when we were converting, we could also use this table to reference, but I just did this one. Now I use this table for creating the measures, and I'll be showing you how I was able to leverage this table that I only input it using enter data. Of course, you can do enter data, or you can also do an Excel and input something of the sort, and then you can be able to use it to input your data. Another table that I created here, let me finish with the modeling so that we can go into the visualizations. I created an aging table. So aging table enables us to quantify how the projects have been moving, and how projects age as they go in time. Of course, you want to see projects that are ongoing, how they are aging, so that you can be able to quantify for these projects that are still ongoing, how long have they been in our system and have not been completed by our project managers. And so we just have an aging column, which is 0 to 30 days, 30 to 60, 60 to 90, 90 to 120, and greater than 120, of course, with the minimum and the maximum there, and have an indexing column. So for 120 days, you put here a bigger value so that it is able to cover for even maybe projects that will come inside that may stay long. Of course, 100,000 is very many days, quite a number of years, but just to be safe, you just put it there. Of course, you can have many aging bins that you can use here, and which I'll show you how I was able to leverage this. So just to go through the pages so that we can move on. Of course, these are accounts, so we're able to check the project managers. We were able to count the project managers, and all we did was a distinct count, which counts the distinct project manager that is in is in the system. We also did a count of sites, same thing, distinct count, projects that are completed. So here we sort of did a count, but we had a filter where we were filtering the status of the project, where projects have to be completed. So as we can see, out of 1,000 projects, only 270 have been completed, as we have filtered the completed only. And here we can be able to see the percentage of projects that have been filtered. So we have a projects completed. So I did a projects completed. As you can see, we did here projects completed. So this is the number. 20, and then we have the total projects. So this one counted all the projects, which is 1,000. And once you do that percentage, it comes to 27%. So there's something interesting with monetary measures that I've created. And this is what I was saying about you leveraging the table that I've shown you for currency conversion. And I'll just jump into one of them so that you can be able to understand. So I have, as you can see in this formula, I'm doing a switch. And of course, I want to show my value here in the 3 different currencies. Of course, there are different ways to do this, but this is how I did it. So we have the selected currency, and this is just a simple measure where it gets the values of the rates of the rates. So it gets the values from the currency table. Remember the currency table that I showed you? It gets the rates. So once we come back here, I think I need to remove this. I hope we're still together and I've not lost anybody. So we want to see the achieved recurring revenue. So So this one is able to get what has been chosen from our I wish I brought this down a little bit. Yeah. So we have a filter here, and the filter here is from the table that I had shown you. But now we need to be able to choose. As you can see, once we choose here, this value changes. And of course, this is the only value that should change because it's the only monetary value and it has a currency attached to it. So what we are doing here, we have an if statement that selects when we choose any of these. And so, like in our formula here, let me just make sure it's this one. We have, if we choose this, so it takes the value. Now this is the measure, and it divides by the value that we have in the rate, the table. Now the rate of the currency. And if we choose euro, we take the measure of the complete, then we divide. And then, of course, if it's USD, you take and you divide. So this one is used to choose if else, you know, when we do conditions and there's a else sort of value. So that's what I did here. So this is already the completed revenue, but now we use the selected currency. You select it and then you leverage that so that you can be able to divide. And so that's what I did. So this is just the introduction page, nothing as much there. I think I needed just to explain that. And of course, once you select the different project managers, you can be able to see also that works very well. Of course, remember we said there were some projects that did not have project managers, but now that is accounted as one project manager. So that chooses one. You can see only 22% of projects that did not have a project manager have been complete. And this is the value that has been achieved by those project managers that probably did not account for their projects. I hope we are okay up to there. So I'll just go through the other pages first so that I can be able to complete very quickly. Remember we said about calculating month to date, year to date, and quarter to date. So of course, I want to convert these values, but I think the most important measure is the one that is hid inside here. So I'll just show you what it's about. And of course, you know, how we calculate our value. So we have the MRC completed, but now we want to filter the year to date. And of course, now let's think of our financial year starting from April. So of course, the last thing that we put here is when the financial year ends, which is this is March 31st. So that means our financial year starts in April. And so one is able to calculate year to date. Where have we gotten year to date? So this value is accounting for all the year that that one has been able to account from April up to now, and of course the quarter to date and then the month to date, which is now only takes care of the specific month that we are in. And I hope that makes sense. So of course, remember these values are wrapped inside other measures so that you can be able to convert them. And now we have dates month to date. So that's what's going on here with these three values. This is just a chart that shows all projects count and the opportunity type. And then this is our revenue. Remember, we have two types of revenue. We have recurring revenue and non-recurring revenue. So non-recurring revenue is revenue like for installation. Of course, people don't have to pay for installation twice. They only pay it once. But for monthly recurring revenue, this is where now, for example, you're providing internet solutions or cloud solutions or whatever. So if when they're supposed to pay, that's when this value comes. And of course, this makes sense because you expect monthly recurring revenue to be more because it occurs quite more. We have now our project managers, and we can be able to see the percentage of the projects that they have been able to complete. Remember, we saw 27 was our overall percentage, but now we have the breakdown of the percentages, and this is the complete revenue that they have been able to achieve, the completed recurring revenue and the non-recurring revenue. And now this one is the monthly recurring revenue by month. and you can be able even to filter by the financial year. So if you have a financial year there, you can be able to see the different values that we've been able. And of course, we said our year starting from April. That's why April is first, May, June, July, August. And of course, there should be March here. Probably there wasn't data in March, but yeah, that's what's happening here. The last one is, I'll just be going through, I'm remaining with 2 pages, aging and KPIs. So aging is quite an interesting topic. And of course, this is just a table to show the aging. Remember, we calculated our aging using the column. And so we're able to see for this client whose site is here, how long has this project taken? So that shows this project has taken 541 days. And of course, we want to check aging for projects that are still ongoing. So I had to filter here the project that is in progress, not started and stopped, because we don't want to check aging for projects that are completed. That won't help us in any decision making, because we've already gotten that revenue. So we're checking not started, in progress, and of course the ones that have been stopped. Now there are few formulas that I want to go through here before I come to an end. I know we don't have a lot of time, and so just share these 2 formulas, and then I'll go through the rest of the visuals, which I think are quite understandable, and then we'll be done. So there's something here that I did, and so this is, remember I had shown you the dates, the aging table, the aging table. So this is how we are able to quantify. Remember, these 2 tables don't have relationships. You see, the currency table does not have a relationship with our data, and the aging table does not have a relationship with our data. So we need to enable them to have the power to be able to filter out what we are looking for. And so like here, I just did, I did the count of all IDs, and I was filtering out the distinct aging for remember the column that we created, the distinct aging. And now I wanted to count rows that are in this, that fall in between the minimum and the maximum. So that's what this formula is doing. And so using that, now we're able to quantify the number of projects or tasks that are ongoing and fall within the aging bucket. So that formula enables us to get these numbers. So we're able to know 6 projects are the ones that got in between 0 to 30 days. Between 30 to 60 days, there are also 6 projects. Between 60 to 90 days, there are 13 projects. Between 90 to 120, there are 15. And of course, the ones that are greater than 120, that means they got in more than 3 months from now, they are 996. And of course, you can now be able to see the revenue for each of those aging buckets that have been quantified here, and the non-recurring revenue. I hope all this makes sense. So one can be able to know. Of course, I think I should have filtered this for ongoing projects, so that one can be able to see projects that entered between 0 to 30 days that have not been completed. How many are they, and the recurring revenue? How does it compare to other projects that got in before? So that one can be able to know. We need to push out the projects that came in first, so that we have to make sure that our clients are quite happy, because if they ask the services from us, we need to provide these services to them. Of course, now this is just a representation of sort of these projects now in a pie chart, and you can see, or a donut chart, and you can see this one accounts for most of the greater than 120 accounts for the biggest percentage of the projects. Yeah, so that's what's going here. And then, of course, I did the oldest project. Of course, you can see the oldest project has taken 541 days. And that was just a formula where I calculated the difference of the entry date and today. where the project has not been completed or has not been stopped. So those are for ongoing projects. So we are checking when was the minimum entry date between all projects that have not been completed and today, and we're able to get that value 541, which is of course testament that it is true, because that's what we are seeing here, that this is the oldest aging project. All right, the last page as I finish. So this is just okay, let me remove the filters here. Now here, this is more of checking the project managers, and you can be able to quantify how many projects have been assigned to what project manager, their completed revenue, and then non-completed revenue. And so by selecting each, like selecting a project manager, can be able to see what they've been able to bring into the company. And of course, this helps in maybe you want to identify who has been performing well. Of course, we also saw the percentage per each project manager, and that can also help in quantifying that. And of course, remember, we have ongoing projects and those that have not been completed. So we have the achieved recurring revenue, which is 26%. This means we have around 74% of projects that the revenue is still waiting for projects managers to accomplish, as well as the non-recurring revenue. We have around the same percentage where we are waiting for the projects managers to push these projects. And so, of course, we had our blank projects that were empty, and that accounted for 9.6. So which is testament of 96 projects that don't have a project manager here out of the 1,000 projects that are in this data. So I believe using such types of formulas, especially aging, you need to quantify aging, you need to do KPIs for the different project managers, and of course, understanding the revenue that has been able to come in and the revenue that is ongoing. One can be able now to quantify task analysis and project management for the different projects that you're handling. So I hope I'm still in time, and I've been able to go as quite fast as possible. But in case you want this, I'll share a link of my GitHub, and I'll share this Power BI file there, so that whoever wants to look this in more in depth can be able to do so. Thank you very much. I don't know if there are any questions as I finish.